We are fewer than 48 hours away from Ironman 70.3 returning to the Rockford region, and with it, more than 2,000 athletes, and the participants will swim 1.2 miles, bike 56, and run 13.1. According to Go Rockford, 95 of the athletes are from here in Rockford. There are also people competing from Belvedere, Loves Park, Roscoe, McChesney Park, and Rockton. This year's racers also represent 30 states and 19 countries, including Belgium, Canada, and India. Ironman Rockford volunteer director Chris Hankins says 500 people are returning to the course after competing in the 2025 race. He says Sunday's event will be better given the temperatures will be much cooler than in 2025.
Anytime you have a big sports brand like Ironman in a town like Rockford, it's just an amazing experience. I mean, it's great for people that aren't even athletes to experience what it looks like to put on something like this, and then to see, a bunch of, regular athletes, but also world-class athletes come into town to race is just really exciting.
And several roads will be shut down in Rockford as a result of the competition, so it's a good idea to know which areas to avoid. Some of the roads closed include Chestnut Street between South Church and South Wyman, East State from South Madison to North Water, and you can find a list of road closures on our website, WIFR.com.